Swamiji, what is the true purpose of doing yoga?
In order to understand the true purpose of doing yoga, Lynn, let us go back to the history of yoga and how it all began. In the ancient times, in the times of the Vedas, the life of a normal human being was divided into 4 parts. They were called ashramas. So the first ashrama was called Brahmacharya ashrama. Brahma means God, ashrama. So in the first part of life, at about the age of 7, the little child was sent to live with the teacher in the forest, where they sat under a tree, Upanishad, and they studied with the masters. Now by the time they were around 25 years old, when they were complete with their education, they returned to their houses and they started living a householder's life. They got married and they settled down. While they were with the masters, since men were separate and lived separately from women, they were automatically celibate in their lifestyle. And that is why sometimes brahmacharya is represented as celibacy. Refraining from indulgence in sex was one of the things that happened spontaneously in this state, in this 25-year stage of the human's life. At 25, they started living a householder's life, and they stayed there till they were around 50, and then was the time to go to the 3rd stage of life. So you have the first stage, Brahmacharya ashrama, the second was called Grihastha ashrama, and the 3rd stage of life is Vanaprastha ashrama, where you are in the forest. Now when you leave for the forest, your son, who is now 25 years old, returns, and you give the house to him and you retreat into the forest to spend your time in prayer and meditation, living only with the creatures in the forest, in total solitude, trying to connect back with the Master. You have done your job, you have educated yourself, you have raised your kids. Now you're going to do what you came here to complete your mission, your purpose in life, which is to try and experience God. It is in this stage that yoga developed. It is in this stage, after 50, that people put in all their effort to experience God. You do learn a lot about yoga and the scriptures in the first stage, but it is in the 3rd stage that you start practicing to be a yogi. And at 75 or so, if you are still alive, with gratitude to God, you burn a little funeral pyre in your own name and live the rest of your life a sannyasi, a person who doesn't deserve to live anymore, but is grateful to God for still having kept breath in his body, waiting to return to his heavenly abode. Let's come to Vanaprastha ashrama. The purpose, as you asked me, in practicing yoga was to connect with the Master even while you are in this body. And there are 8 stages of yoga. The do's and the don'ts are called yama niyama, and the 3rd stage is asana. In the West, many people believe that asana means posture. Truly so, but asana was the seat on which the yogi sat. So when you went to the forest, you would see yogis sitting in meditation, and the first thing you would see was that they had their asanas, which was little stools to raise themselves up, to prop their spines in a way that they would not get tired when they sat still in meditation. Asana was used to practice yoga. Along with the asana, there were 2 other things that the yogi had. The yogi had what he called a yoga dandasana. And the yoga dandasana was a little stick with a crook which he put under his armpit. When his nostrils got blocked, he would lean onto the side of the nostril that was blocked. He would lean onto the opposite side and they release the blockage in his nostrils, because the yogi believes that both nostrils have to be free for proper breathing in meditation. And the last thing and the third thing that the yogi had was a pot of water to drink. Now, unlike in the present times when we believe that we have to have more and more in order to survive as we grow older, the yogis believed that you needed to have less and less to be not dependent on anything at all. So, the yogis found that if they put one foot over the other in a lotus pose, like I'm sitting in right now, then your spine automatically propped up and you did not have any need for the asana. Then the yogi found out that if he could bend his leg and put it under his armpit, he does not need the yoga danda. In fact, that posture is called the yoga dandasana. And finally, the yogis learned to sit under a tree by the side of a river, so they did not have to carry the pot. Now all the yogi had was a little loincloth to cover himself up, and he lived devoid of any material goods and practiced meditation. This is the true yoga. But if you want to be able to cross your legs in lotus postures, you need to do yoga postures to keep your body limber. The yogi would sit under the tree and stretch. And that is the stretch that is called Vrikshasana, because his hands are reaching up to the tree. When the yogi stood up on his feet, he could look beyond at the mountains. And that pose, standing pose, is called Tadasana, because it is in that pose that he could see the mountains in the distance. This is how different yoga postures developed, and they have a suffix ending in asana. So Tadasana is the mountain pose. Vrikshasana is the tree pose, where sitting under the tree the yogi reaches over there. Pasasana, where he twists, and that is how asanas develop. But in true reality, the yoga postures are preceded by meditation. Meditation comes first, and then the yoga postures developed. As the yogis started sitting in meditation, they learned to do different types of intricate yoga postures in order to maintain comfort in their meditations. Ironically, in the modern day and age, we have learned to do the yoga postures first, and now we are looking for meditation. That is because historically, yoga came to the West in a whole different way. So it is very important to focus on meditation, and in fact, as you start learning to practice meditation more and more, you will spontaneously start twisting, you will spontaneously start stretching, and you will spontaneously start doing all these different yoga postures, because your body will demand that you stretch in a particular way to release the stress that has developed by sitting still in meditation for long periods of time. By doing postures without meditation, you have the horse behind the cart, you have the cart before the horse. It's important to have meditation and evolve into yoga postures. This is the true yoga. Thank you for asking me the question, Lynn.
Thank you.